back to another awesome episode of Real Talk. We're your hosts. I'm Dr. Nadia a naturopathic doctor.
I'm Alina, holistic nutritionist.
And today we have an awesome topic, and actually quite a controversial topic that we have a lot of readers and community members asking about. It's about the alkaline diet.
And you know what? This is something that I personally used to follow for a little while as well. And I think probably a lot of you guys who are watching may have tried out the alkaline diet before. So the alkaline diet, if some of you aren't actually familiar with it, the basic concept is that there are certain foods that are more acidifying and some that are more alkalizing, and that it affects your body's pH. And when we are in a more alkaline environment, it promotes better health overall, reduces inflammation, and prevents cancer risk. So that's
better for your bone health, decreases inflammation, reduces cancer risk.
All wonderful things.
Weight loss, all of these different things are what proponents of the alkaline diet claim that it can do. Before we even dive in deeper, guys, remember, this is live. We're here for you. We would love to get all of your feedback, comments, questions, anything. We're here to engage with you. I will be doing my absolute best, as I usually try to do, to listen and respond to all your comments and questions. If we don't get to your comments or questions during this session, I was going to call it a seminar. This is not a seminar. This is an anti-seminar.
This is a conversation.
It is a dialogue.
Very informal chat.
Yes, that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be us just chatting.
Yeah.
But if we don't get to your comments or questions, we will follow up and get a member of our team or one of us will answer them in good time.
Okay, let's get started. Let's find out if the alkaline diet really works and if there's actually any benefits to this at all or any downsides.
Yes, / even to begin with, I would love, have a lot of you guys heard of the alkaline diet? Are you guys pro-alkaline diet, anti-alkaline diet?
Type. Let us
know.
Yeah, for sure. So we talked a little bit about it already. The concept is that there's some foods that are acidifying, some that are alkaline, and it's based on this pH spectrum. So if you go back to chemistry class, you may remember that there's...
Way back when.
You will remember, maybe you tested it on some litmus paper before, and you had like pH paper. Remember that stuff? But that's when, we found out that there's a pH spectrum, and it goes all the way from 0, which is very acidic.
That would be right over here.
Right there. All the way over onto the other side, alkaline, which is a pH of 14. And then a neutral pH is actually right in the middle at 7. So the theory goes, if you look at some foods over here, some have a more acidic ash, is what the diet claims. So some things like meat, some grains and nuts, and of course like your junk food and alcohol. So all those things are claimed to be more acidifying to the body and not promoters of health. Whereas on the other side, the alkaline foods are, your dark leafy greens, your fruits, your water, all of those types of things.
So Alina, I mean, what you're describing to me sounds like it makes a lot of sense. If I'm going to eat more alkaline foods like dark leafy greens, veggies, and stop eating things like alcohol, sugar, soda. I mean, that sounds really healthy. Why would I not want to do that?
So we're gonna get into this a little bit.
Okay.
But if you think about it, some foods that are classified as acidic are things like nuts, like almonds. For example,
blueberries.
Blueberries are apparently classified as acidic as well. Exactly. Even healthy meats like your wild-caught fish and organic grass-fed beef, those things as well are classified as acidic. And if you think about it, a lot of populations thrive on these foods. A lot of people thrive on these foods, even people who are on the paleo diet. So how can the paleo diet and the alkaline diet then coexist in a way, right? So if you want to add to that.
Well, one thing as an overall note that Alina and myself really love talking about, and we hope you guys are interested in this concept as well, is where we really want to talk about what can we learn from the different diet trends or fads, whether they are bogus or real. What can we learn along the way so that we can make individual diet decisions that benefit our individual needs? Because that is ultimately anytime either of us work with patients, you know, we can make general guidelines that are agreed upon by most people, i.e., you know, we want a balanced diet that's nutrient dense, but the specificity of that is very individual. Yeah, and we can go more into that as we go, but as you guys learn and kind of listen to us talking today, I want you guys to put on your critical thinking cap, because as you know, we
Put it on.
We're pretty research-based, so we're going to be backing up a lot of our arguments and what we go through on research for and against.
But of course, you always want to start from a place of just logic and common sense as well, right? Listening to your body and looking at the bigger picture and context of health overall.
And as a general, more of a philosophical rule of thumb, I always like to go into any argument.
Getting philosophical. Okay.
With the empty cup mentality. Yeah. So you're really coming in, you're open-minded, and you're open to listening to both sides of the story so that you can make an educated decision at the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's dive a little bit deeper into what pH really is beyond just the spectrum.
Right.
So why do we
care?
Why do we care about pH in the first place, right? So again, going back to chemistry class, to sum it up, the right pH kind of creates the right environment for really a biochemical or a biological reaction to take place, right? Whether it's an acidic environment or an alkaline one. Now, when we're looking at the body as a whole, I think a lot of us may not know or not realize that there's actually different pH levels in different parts of the body. So when it comes to your stomach, it needs to digest and break down food like tough steak and like your protein and your good fats, and it needs a stomach acid to do that. And the name in itself, stomach acid.
Yeah, it's an acidic environment.
Acidic environment with around a pH of 2 to 3. So that's a very acidic part of the body.
And to interject, because I realize this is an important part too, anytime we look at a body system that physiologically needs either a slightly more acidic or a slightly more alkaline environment, anything still, if it goes past that parameter, so if an acidic environment becomes way too acidic, you're going to deal with concerns, just like, you know, if you guys have reflux, that can be because you're having way too many acidic foods in an already an acidic environment.
Exactly.
And then on the other hand, if you're having, you know, you're not creating an acidic enough environment and you are too alkaline in your stomach, then you may not be digesting appropriately. So any of these systems, when they're skewed off of homeostasis, which is where they like to live and where the body spends a lot of time and energy to make sure that they stay, is not good. Either way, too alkaline or too acidic. So
exactly.
Sorry for that interjection.
No, it's a perfect interjection. I appreciate your interjections. So then when it comes to, let's say, the saliva then, so in your mouth, that actually has a pH level of around, I mean, it can vary, but around like 6 to 8. So it's a bit more of an alkaline environment. You don't want that environment to be too acidic. And then, of course, you have your urine, which is probably what people are most familiar with like, you know, peeing and testing it on those pH strips or that litmus paper. That actually can vary all the way from 4 to 9 as well.
Yep.
So, and of course, another very easy way to actually know if your urine is a little bit too acidic is actually just looking at the color. So when it's bright yellow, then you know it's a little bit too acidic. Or if it's
it could be. If you're looking at it from a dehydration perspective, we know that water will dilute it and take it from a more acidic place to a more alkaline space. So if your urine is fairly clear, you're probably really well hydrated.
Exactly.
And it's probably more basic. If you are really dehydrated and it's really concentrated and dark, then you're probably dehydrated and it's more acidic. And that's just a visual test. Obviously, you can get you know, pH measurements, and we're going to talk about what that means in a little bit. The other one that I love to talk about where people actually forget is your skin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
your
yeah.
skin
Forgot about
actually
that.
has a slightly acidic mantle, where if you're using products that are skewing that mantle, so if you're using soaps or cleansers or things like that that are too alkaline, your skin doesn't like that. And you may see more breakouts, dryness, or just your overall complexion not being very happy. So something to keep in mind, especially when we do our skin talk.
So is that why they say don't wash your face too much? Like if you over scrub and overwash, you're sort of ruining your acid mantle on your face then.
Twofold,
Yeah.
absolutely. You're messing with the mantle, and B, your skin produces natural oils as a moisturization as well. So you're creating dryness, and the skin does not like dryness.
But we will talk about skin more at a
I
later
know.
date.
I'm
we
a
both
skin
love
junkie,
skin.
so I always go into
Yeah.
it. But it's an important
Yeah.
note because most people don't think of your skin, which is an external
pH.
organ. It is an organ as having a pH mantle, but it does, and it's slightly acidic.
Yeah. So basically, in a nutshell, different parts of your body have different pH levels that they like to operate in. And if you try to like go a bit too acidic or too alkaline, that basically gets thrown off and it's not too great. So
We have 2 comments, which I'm thrilled about.
great.
First of
Go
all,
for it.
who we have right now, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here. So we have Faith. Hello, Faith.
Hello.
And welcome. Faith mentions, I don't believe that the body stays alkaline for a long period after eating the food that is alkaline. I know many who have contracted cancer and who have been on a strong alkaline diet that still contracted cancer. So Faith brings up a good point, and something that we're going to get into where, we'll talk about the pros and we'll talk about the cons and why the foods we eat may or may not have a direct effect on our actual blood and total body pH. Then we also have a comment from Helen. Hello, Helen.
Hi, Helen.
Thank you for tuning in. She says, hi, I have always found this diet confusing, especially because I love nuts and know that they could be so good for you. Thoughts? Perfect, Helen. And this is exactly why we're going to talk about some of the healthy acidic foods a little bit later on.
Okay, perfect. So let's move on to the blood. So I feel like this is what most people think about when they think about the alkaline diet being able to affect the body's pH. They're actually thinking that you're able to change the pH of your blood.
Yes.
But here's the thing. The pH of your blood can only be within a very narrow window.
7.35 and 7.45.
That's tiny.
And if it shifts anywhere out of that, it could be fatal. So
like you would literally die if I was at 7.6 or something, let's say.
you could absolutely.
Yeah.
This is so tightly regulated by your body's physiology that it does not want you to change its natural homeostasis.
So maybe
You may die.
Exactly. So there are certain things in place already. Like our body is really intelligent. That's keeping this homeostasis in check. And maybe you can talk to those a little bit more. I know some are the kidneys and the lungs. So if you want to expand on that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So our first way that, so we do eat foods, and those foods can be determined as acidic or alkaline. Now, the reason why those don't have necessarily a direct effect on our blood pH is because we have organs in place to balance that pH before it even gets there. So our kidneys are kind of our first line of defense, where it's able to filter and keep that balance pretty tightly regulated. Our lungs are another way that we keep an acid-base balance. So every time you breathe out and breathe in, you're breathing in oxygen and out carbon dioxide.
So I can alkalize right now by doing this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There is actually, if you are, so there's been situations, it's a medical condition called respiratory alkalosis, where if you are in a state of extreme stress and are hyperventilating, you can actually make your body too alkaline, which is not good, and you can
Not
go
a
into
good thing.
cardiac arrest.
Okay. Okay, so that highlights or underscores the importance of the alkaline diet or food not being able to impact our blood because organs are in place, keeping it in homeostasis between 7.35 to 7.45. If you go out of it, you're in acidosis. and that's caused by very severe things like organ failure, maybe
Absolutely.
like heart failure, kidney failure,
Comas.
maybe severe infection.
Yeah.
So those kinds of things. Okay.
So just to reiterate, guys, the foods that we eat can affect the pH of our urine, but no scientific studies have ever been able to prove to date that it can change the pH of your blood.
Okay.
That is a key takeaway for how we understand how the alkaline diet affects us on a physiological level. But we're not saying the alkaline diet is bad. Okay? This is an important
talk about that too.
point because, as I mentioned in the beginning, you know, what harm am I doing if I'm eating more vegetables, reducing my alcohol intake, my sugar intake? You know, like what's that? Those are positive things and are proponents of the alkaline diet.
But really, we just want to help you understand and educate you guys on the basics of how pH works and what acid and alkaline really means, so you can make more informed decisions and understand how these things actually work in your body. Which brings me to my next question.
Yes, Alina.
Question, Nadia.
Yes, you.
So, I'm curious about bones, though, because I think a lot of us have actually heard that the alkaline diet can help with osteoporosis, because when you have too much acidic food, it can leach minerals from your bones and leach calcium from your bones, right? So
that's the theory.
So it's a theory. It's not proven as yet. Okay.
That's correct. So there's a couple things that go into this. First, I want to point out that there were some earlier studies done with people who actually had mild metabolic acidosis. So they were actually in a state of acidosis, which is not just, I mean, you would have physical symptoms of that.
Like you would know if you're in acidosis.
Medical condition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Metabolic acidosis is a very serious medical condition that actually can cause coma and death. Okay. So there have been studies done in a population with people who had mild metabolic acidosis, where they did find that there was some impact on calcium release in the basically your skeletal tissue or your bones, also upregulating calcium and having an effect that way. Now, most studies and most current studies have shown that the foods we eat and our urine output of either acidic or alkaline have no correlation or impact on fracture risk or bone density. If anything, there have been multiple studies and a lot of really good research with high protein diets, which are considered acidic, and positive bone health. That's a big take home.
So high protein foods, like say fish and nuts, these can actually be really great, and that's what research has shown for your bones.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So we don't need to be worried.
We do not
that
need
calcium
to be
is being
worried.
leached.
No.
Okay. Awesome. That's awesome news.
That is awesome
That's
news.
so awesome news.
Oh, God.
So, my slides are not moving
forward.
No! Oh no! In the meantime, maybe we can check and see if we have
Do you want to restart?
any comments.
This is sometimes, you know, when technology works, and then sometimes when it doesn't.
I think this is working now.
I was sending it vibes to start working, and I'm glad that it's working again. I will check the comments, though.
Okay,
I wanted
great.
to check in here. Hello. Shirley, hello. Welcome.
Hey.
And Vanita, we also have hello. How to convert, so Vanita's asking how to convert our bodies from acidic to alkaline. So Anita, this is a perfect time for you to be tuning in, because we're going to talk about how you basically cannot physiologically change the pH or alkalinity of your blood with the foods you eat. That being said, we're going to help you understand how you can eat a nutrient-dense diet that helps all physiological processes in your body.
She's actually tuned in on the perfect slide right now, Vanita, because we're literally going to talk about if food can affect the pH of your blood at all and why it's not the case.
Yes.
Was there another comment?
Not that I'm seeing right
Okay.
now, but
Perfect.
I will refresh in a little bit.
Sounds
Sometimes
good.
it takes a little bit of time.
Okay, so let's talk about food actually being able to affect the pH and why that may not be the case. So let's take an example of I am eating a burger right now. Okay, let's say I'm eating this burger. It's going to go down my esophagus.
Can we get Alina a burger?
I know, this is just me asking for some food right now. I'm thinking about dinner. So I'm eating a burger, chomp, 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 going down the esophagus, and now it goes into your stomach, right, before your gut. And what happens in the stomach is you have a pH of around 2 or 3, stomach acid. So no matter what I eat, let's say if I even ate a cabbage, which is like alkaline, let's say in there, it's going to be put into an acidic environment. So all food is going to be affected by this acidic environment, no matter if it's acidic, no matter if it's alkaline. And now after that, it's actually going to go into my gut where it's neutralized and turned into digestive juice called chyme, right? So everything kind of ends up at the same pH at that point. So no matter what you eat, it's going to go through those two different processes, be acidic, become neutralized, and then be excreted.
Right. And there are, so when we get into the nitty gritty of it, there definitely are situations where, for example, you can have acidic food that ends up being broken down and the metabolites of that food are determined to be alkaline forming. We'll talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah.
But as a general concept,
Yeah, this is an overview. Did you want to talk about ash right now, alkaline ash and the other measure? Or we can get to that later.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
We'll talk about it in a little bit.
Okay. So, I love this slide.
Yes.
Because this
I
is
love this
again
slide for
something that I
many
used to
reasons.
do. Many of you guys may have done this before. You may have gone to a health food store and you may have bought something called pH strips. And the way it works is you pee on it midstream, you see what color it is. If it is very bluish, you're pretty alkaline. If it's more in the yellow, it's a bit more acidic. And the issue is that we think that this is an indicator of our overall health. We look at whatever the color is and we say, oh my God, I'm unhealthy right now. But really, as you just learned, it's only measuring your urine's pH, right? Not your body's overall health or your blood pH at all.
Your urine can be an indicator of health in certain circumstances. I also just want to point out my favorite part on this slide, which is the too alkaline. So, and this exists as well for most people who don't know or have had kidney stones in the past. Kidney stones tend to form when your urine is either too acidic or too alkaline. So pH strips can be great for those individuals to measure and monitor the pH of their urine. That being said, the pH of your urine can change pretty quickly, especially with the foods that you're eating.
So this could change day by day, basically. If I have a
Hours.
pizza binge
Your morning,
one day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also on your hydration level. There's multiple factors that can change it in a given day, in a given set of hours.
Okay, so the only circumstance under which someone would maybe make use of these pH strips is if they're worried about kidney stones.
Pretty much. Because, I mean, again, I wouldn't be using this to check if I'm hydrated enough or not. That should be a visual test. You know, you always want to be making sure that your urine is nice and clear, not too dark and concentrated, because that is dehydration, which is not good. But yeah, honestly, I would not be too concerned with urine pH as an indicator of overall health and wellness. Now, I mean, you can get other pH strips that give you more information, well, I guess it wouldn't be a pH strip, it'd be more a urinalysis, where you can measure things like if you have blood in your urine, ketone bodies in your urine, you know, leukocytes or red blood cells, if you have an infection. That's a different test, different situation.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So here's the big question then, because many people who are proponents of the alkaline diet or have been on it for a while say, well, why does it work so well?
This is a miracle. It works.
Yeah, you like lose weight, your skin becomes clearer, you have more energy, you're not tired. So why should I not do the alkaline diet if it's working so well for me? And here's the reason that it actually does work, guys. Key. If a diet is telling you to cut out processed food, junk food, cut back on alcohol, and have more nutrient-dense things like fruits and vegetables.
Like this giant strawberry.
Just like that. Then of course you're going to be happier. You're going to be happier and healthier. And happier. I was just still focused on you eating the strawberry. But of course, guys, if you're going to eat a more nutrient-dense diet and you're not going to have junk food, you're going to feel great. It doesn't need to be called an alkaline diet for that to happen. That could just be a whole foods diet.
It could be a nutrient-dense diet where you're including a lot of really amazing alkaline foods, but you're not saying, I eat absolutely no acidic foods, because that is where this would go awry. Because you'd be missing out on a whole host of amazing foods.
Such as...
This is my favorite slide.
She spent a good amount of time on this today.
Alina and I put these slides together, and by Alina and I mean Alina generally puts these slides together, and I really focused on this one because for me, this sums it all up. If these are, so these are actually acidic foods in the middle here. They're considered acidic. We have fish, we have black tea, we have walnuts, pomegranate, blueberries, one of the most amazing superfoods that are so rich in antioxidants and phytonutrients that are amazing for you. We have honey. We love the benefits of honey in moderation. And we have cocoa, another amazing antioxidant-rich food. These are considered acidic. If we were to remove and say, you know, blind eye, they're acidic, I don't want to eat them, we would be missing out on a huge host of benefits. However, there are definitely some acidic things that we can not have. Sugars, refined sugars are the worst. Pops, especially. A lot of alcohol also is not great. So these are the things we can definitely deem as acidic that we can have a lot less of. But these acidic foods, I don't want to tell you guys to say no to. That's kind of, and now
I love this. This makes so much sense.
Right?
Because who wants to miss out on the benefits of blueberries or raw honey or apple cider vinegar, which our community loves?
Apple cider vinegar. That's a perfect other one. I know. We would be thrown to the wayside if we told our community not to have apple cider vinegar.
Exactly.
But this, again, so another take-home message here, guys, is alkaline foods can be amazing. And we want to definitely be having a ton of healthy alkaline foods. We want to limit our negative acidic foods. But I think we can take home that we don't want to just say, I am all for alkaline and absolutely no acidic foods, because then we would be missing out on a lot. Now, I would say, I see you have a thought. Keep it.
Okay, I'm keeping my thought. Go for it.
There are certain people with predisposed health conditions. So if you have kidney disease, for example, then definitely putting a way higher focus on alkaline-based foods, because that's going to affect your urinary tract system, may be beneficial. Or even if you suffer from gout, you may benefit more so from a little bit more of an alkaline-based diet. But
perfect. My only thought was...
Go on.
My one thought. In case you guys are wondering and trying to make the distinction between this middle circle over here and that one over there with the acidic foods that you don't want to have, think about it in terms of nutrient density. At the end of the day, all of these are acidic. The ones that are nutrient dense, you want to have. The ones that are not nutrient dense, like refined carbs and sugars and donuts that aren't giving you any benefits or nutritionally void, you don't want to have.
As often.
And it's as simple as that. As often. Of course. Everything in balance.
Exactly. And that's the thing too, guys. I mean, we say don't have it, but Alina and I both really believe in an 80-20 rule, where for 80% of your time, you're definitely, you know, being conscious of your diet. You're trying to include your nutrient-dense foods. But also
You want your
moderate-
donuts
Exactly.
sometimes.
We don't want to
right?
live
Yeah.
a hyper restrictive
Yeah.
diet that limits us from being able to enjoy or indulge once in a while, because there's a lot of emotional and psychological things that can happen
benefits, yeah.
when we're too restrictive. And we can do a whole, I have quite a background on emotional eating and that push and pull of too much restriction and not enough moderation
Yeah.
can have a huge effect on someone's yo-yo
For sure.
dieting, emotional health, and just
Yeah.
overall well-being.
And actually, if you guys are interested in an emotional eating talk, please comment right now so that we know that this is something you are looking for, and we can do an entire session on that and eating psychology.
It's
For
one of
sure.
my favorite things to talk about, because we need food to live.
Yeah.
We do not have the luxury of not being able to eat food while we live on Earth. So generally, food and emotions play a beautifully distinct role together, and the relationship is complicated.
Yeah.
It's complicated for a large majority of people, and most often women more than males, however, not exclusively in women.
For sure. So,
Oh, this
if
is
any
the best.
so we just found this actually, guys. We were researching the origins of the alkaline diet, and what we actually came across, this is a press release from January. So the title is, "The creator of a bogus diet popularized by celebrities like Kate Hudson faces 3 years in prison." So this is talking about the alkaline diet and its founder. And unfortunately, what we found is that this guy who started the diet, he managed to actually print his doctorate online. So he wasn't a real licensed medical professional. Unfortunately, he's now facing up to 3 years of jail time. And unfortunately, he did do some kind of scandalous things where he even worked with other people. Scandalous things where some cancer patients, unfortunately, did come to him hoping to alkalize themselves. And he intravenously gave them baking soda to create an alkaline environment. None of those, obviously, treatments helped, and it was fatal for those patients, and that is why he's facing that jail time. So yeah, we just wanted to bring this to light.
/ it also highlights the
Yeah.
importance, and this is our major take-home message of Real Talk, is critically think about everything you read, every piece of information that you get presented to you. Think about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Research it. See who came up with a theory. What are their
Absolutely.
credentials? Is there any funding involved? What other biases might there be, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is an extreme case
Very
because
extreme.
very extreme.
Yeah.
Because on the one
Yeah.
hand, again, most people who are just generally following the alkaline diet are actually probably doing a lot of good for their bodies,
They're probably feeling better because they're eating more fruits and veggies, and that's great.
which is exactly awesome. But again, when taken to an extreme and when not enough education and support were put into the individuals who, forgo their regular treatment path in light of this, that's when things really fell apart, which is not good. You always want to
sure.
work with your healthcare provider.
Always.
Always want to speak to the person that you work with on a regular basis, which should be your physician, anytime you make any lifestyle or dietary changes, especially if you're already on medication, because they're going to know you best. They're going to know your family history. They're going to know your genetic history. They're going to know everything.
Yeah. And to drive the point home, we just have a slide here which shows Kate Hudson did popularize this, did awesome things for her too. But again, do not blindly follow sometimes what celebrities are doing. There was a point in time, remember Renee Zellweger, I don't know if I'm saying that right.
I haven't thought about her in
Bridget
a really
Jones,
long time.
all of those celebrities who were doing the Atkins diet. Remember that? And they
Right.
were dropping crazy weight. And you were like, oh, celebrities are doing it. They look awesome. They
Right.
must have very highly trained nutritionists or whoever they're working with at the time. And then you find out a year or two later that it's actually not a great idea to just have sausage and bacon all the time and not have any carbs.
Right.
Similarly, the alkaline diet, which a lot of celebrities did follow, is now being debunked. So just wanted to drive that point home.
But again, she may have felt great and found some really positive benefits, which is the take homes that we can learn
Yes.
from this.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. So before we end off and answer some of your questions, we did want to touch upon two things as well that might be in your minds. One of them is, what about my lemon water? I have lemon water every single morning and it's supposed to alkalize me and help with detoxification. So does lemon water not count anymore? Is it not a good thing? And the answer to that is no, lemon water is still fantastic.
Yeah, love lemon water.
It's amazing. We still have it in the mornings, but that's because there's a host of other benefits to it. So one of the benefits, for example, is that it stimulates bile flow.
Digestion.
Right? Exactly. Which basically can help improve your digestion, relieve constipation, reduce bloating. So it's definitely a great digestive kickstart.
Also, you're drinking water, which is great. Hydration is, I know, actually I'm constantly having to remind myself to drink more water, especially if I have a really busy day, because if there's one low-hanging fruit, tiny change you can make in your day-to-day, it is drink more water. You guys have probably heard this a million times, but honestly, it will make a huge difference in your skin, in the way you feel, your energy levels, your brain function will thank you. So many different things.
Exactly. So as Nadia drinks her water, one more point about lemon water as well is that it actually can help you reduce cravings a little bit too for some people, right? When you have like lemon water and you may have a bit of like a sweet craving, it can definitely help sometimes suppress appetite.
Yeah, sometimes when I have a big craving, obviously I don't know if lemon water would cure it, but
for me, more anecdotal, guys, more anecdotal.
Yes, and I think that is totally fine, because different things are going to work for different people.
Exactly. But take home message, it's great for digestion, have it in the morning. So the other thing that you might be thinking about or questioning is, what about alkaline water? Because that's sold a lot in health food stores as well, right?
Great question, Alina. So guys, now when we are thinking back and kind of, you know, taking stock of what we learned here today, in the fact that we cannot change the pH of our blood by what we drink or eat, why would we buy alkaline water?
Because if you're going to drink it, it's just going to go into your stomach acid, right? Which is acidic. Like, what effect really is the alkalinity of it having? So, not to say that all alkaline water is perhaps bad, because sometimes it's, you know, it's distilled mineral water, it's filtered out, so it's gotten rid of some of those other chemical constituents, maybe, right?
Yes. I think when I think alkaline water, the marketing like ploy is saying alkaline water. So that is really what I'm thinking about and talking about when it comes to this.
So and sometimes you're just paying a premium for something that's not really making a big difference.
Right, because there definitely and we're not saying the type of water you drink doesn't matter, because it definitely can, and we can talk about that another day. But specifically a marketing ploy of alkaline water and its effect on your blood pH or overall health.
Don't want to do it. It's not going to make a difference, guys.
Or there's not enough research for me to say that this is something I would buy or recommend.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so drink your lemon water for digestion. Probably skip the alkaline water right now when paying triple the price. That's the take-home message right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to read comments, but my screen has gone black.
Oh.
So
technology.
I need you to sign in.
Okay.
But in the meantime, why don't you go to the one of the final slides, or is that the end of the slide?
That was the end of the slides. I am just going to
look at my calming background, guys. It's so calming.
That was our last slide, but I will try. You can pass me my laptop, or we will look at
There's no shortage of laptops here. Thank you. Says we have a fantastic team here, guys. Okay. Woo, lots of people to join. Thank you. Hello, hello.
Hi, guys.
Okay, Galina, hi, welcome. I'm a naturopathic doctor, so I have a background in specialization in health science, 4 years at the University of Western Ontario, and then I did a 4-year post-grad to become a naturopathic doctor. Alina
is
a holistic nutritionist.
And yeah, I did a degree in applied holistic nutrition. So mine is a little bit more food and nutrition based, whereas Nadia, you can think of as, I guess, an alternative version of a medical doctor, or I don't know if that describes it well.
I don't like to do the comparison because I would never want to classify myself as the same as an ND. We have different roles and we do different jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was asking what our credentials are.
Okay.
Good question. Because if I was listening to information that I didn't disagree with or didn't agree with, I would want to know how credible the source is too.
Yeah, so that's great that you're critically thinking and questioning us and being skeptical, and that's awesome. Thank you.
Yes, and I love, so Chris says, low-hanging fruit has too many sugars in it.
Nice.
Which is a hilarious comment, and I appreciate
Great pun.
Great Thank
pun.
you.
We like puns.
Yes. Chris K also loves his fresh lemon juice with water every morning. Awesome. Mohammed is an emotional eater. So Mohammed, fantastic. We will definitely do a segment on emotional eating because it's a huge topic.
Yeah.
Huge topic. And a couple other questions that we will definitely get to. One note for you guys, we always try to avoid giving any specific medical advice, or if you're asking for specific medical conditions such as your own. Unfortunately, we can't speak to those because we are not your healthcare provider.
Yeah, we would need your medical history and a thorough consultation, and it's just not appropriate for us to do that based on limited information.
No.
Yeah.
That being said, we can always give you information that might shed more light going into that health concern.
Guide you in the right direction.
Yeah.
For sure.
But that's pretty much. Valerie also would love to see a live show on emotions and nutrition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think we're going to do that.
Yeah.
I think it would be fantastic.
Seems like the audience wants it, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. We knew coming in that we might ruffle a few feathers with this topic because there are definitely some people who really believe in the alkaline diet. Again, just want to drive home the point. Eating more alkaline foods is fantastic. And we would never say to stop doing that. What we're trying to say is that always have a nutrient-dense diet that's balanced and sound. So that also may include some healthy acidic foods as well.
That is exactly it. And if you still have some questions about the alkaline diet and some things didn't quite make sense, let us know. We're going to be online and we will respond to all of your messages.
Absolutely.
So,
or if you have research papers or studies that are contradicting what we're saying, would love to read them. Would love to learn a little bit more about those perspectives. But that's about it.
Hey
YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in today's episode.
And if you liked what you watched, please be sure to subscribe to our channel.
Yes, and if you had any questions or comments, you can just hit us up below. You can also give us a like. And if you missed last week's episode, you can see that right over here.
And if you do want to see more of our previous episodes, you can catch them all over here. And also, be sure to tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. for our other show, Real Food Live. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.